Okay, welcome to NVL Columbus, the Midwest Championships. We've got a great match here. We got the Czech guys, got Martin and Peter, Caban and Doubravsky versus the East Coast guys, TJ Cloud and Vaughn. This is John Mesko commentating. I'll be joined by some color shortly because everybody knows I'm not color. And we're at 0-0. Here comes the first point. Buckle in.
Yeah. Maverick.
TJ Cloud banging angle. Great dig. Great dig by Martin just outside the antenna. Peter couldn't, maybe Phil could have jumped high enough to bring that back in, but Peter and most average humans not quite getting that. One serving 0. Short serve to Peter. Doubravsky. Cut shot. Great turn by the blocker. Martin digs him. Vaughn gets a good pass, gets a good set, and just boomtown angle. TJ and Vaughn. Cloud and Vaughn, it's their 3rd tournament NVL this year, and playing well. Peter hits, looks like just 3/4 of an inch out. Looked like he felt good about that hit. Oh, they're calling it in. Wow, I'm looking at a different mark then. Vaughn with a great pass, another great set, goes for the line shot, and Caban digs him, and we've got Peter was in the net, Doubravsky in the net. So we're playing a match here. First 2 games are two sets are to 21, 3rd set to 15 if necessary. All sets win by 2. These guys are in the Contenders bracket. The loser goes home, winner goes to 5th place, and to play my partner Drew Mallon and I in about 2 hours from now. Pretty calm win this morning. I don't see a definitive good side. You can see the line judge flag in your upper left corner, the yellow flag. Not really blowing at all. Vaughn gets a good line shot off. Peter looking for a little contact under the net, but that's a tough call to get. In order to get called for a violation under the net, you need to be egregiously over the line, over the neutral area. You need to completely take the guy out, so the player has to flop if he doesn't get taken out. And then, in addition to all of that, the guy has to have a play on the ball. So on that line shot over Peter, because Martin didn't touch it, even if he had taken him out completely, it still would not have been called, because Martin would have had to get that ball up and Peter would have had a chance to set it. Good touch by Caban. So if you're just joining us, it's the NVL Midwest Championships in Ohio's capital of Columbus. You've got John Mesko joined by Andy Locascio. Welcome, Andy.
I already learned something this morning. Moments ago, I learned that Columbus is, in fact, the capital of Ohio.
Oh, overset by Caban. And Vaughn puts it away, 6-3. You know, these guys are playing well, and they're just kind of rolling through this tournament. We played them first, kind of got on them good, sent them to the Contenders bracket, and they have rolled since then. They've won, this is their 4th match in the Contenders bracket.
Super good team, getting better every tournament. And I'll tell you what.
Peter slices line.
So to tell them apart, by the way, for Caban and Doubravsky, Peter Doubravsky's got the white hat, Martin Caban's in the dark hat.
On the with the blue jerseys.
Rolling with the blue jerseys. Peter's got a little more facial hair.
They both speak Czech, so they can communicate in Czech, which is a unique advantage.
And they can be a very streaky team. They can be amazingly good. And
they were in the finals in Port St. Lucie. So, you know, TJ would be the veteran, TJ Cloud, in the hat with the red shorts would be the veteran there, and then the guy with the eye shades, Chris Vaughn. TJ did that yesterday, kind of took just about every middle serve, and that's what the veteran will do, take pressure off the younger, maybe just slightly less experienced guy. That's solid. I always ask my partner to do that. Hey, take over the middle.
You know, the other thing about TJ is they were wearing shirts. I'd put a shirt on TJ with a circle with a line through it, and you probably do not want to serve him.
He, as you can see there, he just slices up the court. We did everything we could to keep the ball away from him.
Yeah. He's super smart. He sees the court really, really well. He's very quick. Takes a couple good peeks at the defense.
There's an old shirt we used to wear on the West Coast called "Serve My Partner." Had a hand with a finger pointing the other way. Ooh.
It's quick.
I don't think Martin's the guy you want to pull on. Martin has, all four guys here just have whips. Once you get to this level of the tournament, these guys are banging balls pretty hard.
There's a block. A little bit of a trap set right there. You know, you get Doubravsky in tight. He's got very dynamic blocker. He's going to make a move on that ball. John, I saw something from you this weekend I haven't seen too much. I know you're a really good technical blocker. I actually saw some little dynamic blocking. You making some late shifts and some really good blocks on balls where you had to make a late adjustment.
You're talking about the match against Palmanzan yesterday?
Yes. Yeah.
Man, that was a heartbreaker. I'm not sure the last time I played in a match that intense. TJ with a good cover, but Peter says, "Nuh-uh, I'm gonna get one of these blocks to go down." That's one of the most frustrating things you can do to a team when they're blocking well, is to cover every block. And Matt Olson, one of the greatest covers of all time, used to give the advice. He wrote an article for Dig Magazine, and he said, "Expect every hit to be blocked, and you'll do better covering."
Maddie married to Lindsay Olson.
I just saw them in Hermosa at the AAU tournament a couple days ago.
Two of the nicest people you ever want to meet.
The nicest people, and when they play a co-ed tournament, that is a filthy team.
I'll bet.
They can make you look silly.
And Matt made some deal with the devil, so he's refused to age. He's not aging.
He's wearing a big straw hat, keeping the sun off his face. Deep serve, and it bounces the line. You know, these big, is it 3-inch NBL lines?
Yeah, they're 3 inches.
It's easy to see when the ball hits the line. Makes it a little easier on the officials.
It's great for the players that also get a good look. We always know where the court is.
It's nice, 4 officials on center court, taking a little pressure off them. And a short serve drops on the 2-foot line, but Peter gets it up well, and Martin's able to go high hands off of Chris Vaughn.
They're very good at picking up short serves. They're both really quick. And one thing that you'll see them do is they typically will slow down a transition play. They never panic. They never speed it up. So you'll see some of the highest setting you'll ever see from these guys on transition plays.
And these conditions would be ideal for that. In the wind, that becomes a little more difficult. But we've got, like I was saying earlier, very little wind here. Maybe swirling just under 5 miles an hour. So no definitive good side yet. But I would wager that as the day goes on, we're going to get a good side here.
All right, I'm seeing something here. Chris Vaughn's going to have to set TJ a little bit better than that against these blockers.
That just drifted just a little tight, forcing TJ to poke, and that's a relatively easy ball to pick up, easier than his hard hit. And then Martin takes advantage of the mismatch at the net with TJ out blocking, and then just kind of goes over the top.
Oh, trick there. John, you and I talked about that whole let serve thing. I know that some of the other tours and FIB's considering creating this let serve rule where you get one let and get a second one, it's going to lose the point. But I'm not sure that I'm a big fan of it. I feel like when we went to short court, the let was something that we were all going to have to accept.
You know, the NBL is they call it the Players Tour, and I'm actually on the Players Committee, so I'm representing all. Me and 2 other, Skylar Del Sol and Kibby Jelks, are representing the men's side. So we disseminate information and take comments back and feed it up to the officials in Albi and Molly, the leaders of the NBL founders. And, you know, they really put it out to the players and said, hey, what do you guys think of changing this rule and what's happening in the other leagues? and I was actually in favor of going to the tennis rule, a reserve, but the rest of the players in the committee were not. So I really like that when it goes out to a simple majority vote, because amongst your peers, then you get what the majority wants, and you weren't able to convince your peers, then you don't get it.
And we've got a beautiful venue here, folks. I know that most of you can't be here because we're obviously in Ohio, but you're here digitally with us, which makes it great. And we'd love to hear your comments about what's going on. We're at a place called Flanagan's Pub, and it has the most beautiful, I think there's at least 10 courts here. I'm going to do a count in a minute.
There's 10 courts, and there's a pool. I did a couple laps. There's no lazy river, but in honor of Mason, Ohio, NBL stop a couple years running, I did a couple laps in it, pretended it was a lazy river.
Wait, did you do laps back and forth to the Las Vegas style bar that's in the pool?
I did, with a DJ booth on the center island of the lazy river. It's a pretty cool stop.
They've been really great to us. The sand here is definitely professional sand. It's a professional facility.
And a beach volleyball combined with a bar and a restaurant. And then they even have a kids' play area with tractors and stuff, very family-oriented. Cloud and Vaughn just tying it up 11-all coming out of the technical timeout. Sometimes you lose a little momentum there. Sometimes you get a little rest, depending. They come out with a good play, tied up 11-all. Got 10 points to go.
Back to serve. Easy serve. Low set. Interesting. A little timing play.
Oh, low contact under the net. Great cover by great cover. Wow. Cloud frustrated there, but shakes that off.
Doubravsky, a couple of really good penetration blocks there, and balls that were kind of tight.
Cloud, that was one of the best covers I've seen. At this tournament. Back flipper. That was Lesniewski style.
Yes. I'm going to take a run over to the other court and get you guys an update on the Canadians versus Moran and Cabbage. I'll be right back.
So TJ Cloud with that last serve put it kind of right in his lap. Some people like that, some don't. But the result was he got the dig he wanted. Now Peter getting his own dig, tight set, and able to poke it over. Gives the big flex down to flex down on the way back to the service line. CJ with off the tape. Hangs for a second there, coming down the middle. A little miscommunication between Martin and Peter, who was going to take that.
Quick update from the other court. Moran and Cabbage are up 14-11 in the first game over Vandenberg and Hitches.
Peter putting up Martin for the option. It was not an option. It was an overset, and Martin winning that joust, pushing just a little harder at the end. A lot of times, high-level players say you want to lose that joust, and DePiro will put on a clinic on how to lose that joust and then pass that ball and get a good look at a hit. But it's a lot easier said than done. TJ gets an open net, and Martin gets a perfect dig on that can be a momentum shift right there, is when you hit your hardest ball and it gets a perfect dig, perfect set, and the guy brings it back at you at the same speed. That's what you want to do as a defender. It's tough. It's tough. I know when I do that and I get dug, it takes a little bit out of me.
Well, you're thinking about that very next shot, so let's see what TJ's got on this one.
It's coming in the middle.
He definitely approached to shoot.
Goes over the line, and Martin does not get the set on that he wanted to make. Caban, Doubravsky still wearing the stickers on their hats. Very,
yeah, they get the kind of like Boys in the Hood thing. Two wild and crazy guys, and they have the accent for it.
Boys in the Hood from Prague.
By the way, they're both Florida residents now. They've both been there for a few years. We call them the Czech guys because it's fun to call them that.
Martin stayed at my house last year in Hermosa Beach for a couple weeks after the Hermosa event. Very classy guy. It's a pleasure to have as a house guest.
You know, you guys, the guys on this tour are amazing. It's like family. So whenever somebody's house is near a venue, everybody like opens up their doors, invites people over.
Lesneski was the first to reserve.
Reserved already? Got the couch?
My son Logan's room at my house. So then Logan and I will sleep in the couch in my bedroom. Lesneski was the first, and then Phipps was a little too late.
Oh, no.
There's a couple guys who were late to the reservation table. TJ hitting high and hard there. Peter was trying to block the angle, but it's a little too high to hit.
I like that set for TJ. It's not too
set.
tight.
He hangs it up there 3 feet off. That's the set that I want. 3 feet off.
See the whole court. You're not worried about the blocker
blocker's
penetrating.
a little too far away to be real effective. I like that deep serve. And Peter doing it again, chipping underneath line.
I like it. You know, John, he approached to hit cross. Really took a big approach. Made a funny noise as if he was hitting hard. I think he was trying to sell it. But it didn't really matter because he had that shot in his mind the whole time.
You know, there's a lot of great beach volleyball players, but not many have a specific hit or shot named after them.
Nice. Another dig and hit by Mark.
Digging that ball in a perfect spot. Like, it's actually hard to screw that set up. So you're making it real easy on his blocker, Doubravsky, to set that ball.
I've seen your partner Drew Mallon do a bunch of those as well. Get right in that right spot, make that good clean dig.
When you turn around from the block and you just see that dig just hanging up there, it's a pleasure. Not the set he wanted, but TJ really dealt with that tailing off set. Tailed from 3 feet off to about 5.5 feet off, and he was able to gather, put it away.
Folks, feel free to share your comments, ask us questions. We'd love to recognize everybody who says something.
Todd Strasburger, another NBL pro that played in San Antonio, commented, said, "Are you allowed to commentate and scout?" And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Look at Todd. He's really observant. He's probably off playing smash ball somewhere. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Along with his name, I suspect there's some videos there. It's a ridiculous game with, it looks like soccer, volleyball, and tennis combined. It's craziness. And Todd's one of the best at it.
Wow, Martin just thumping angle. They get the side switch at 1916. Looks like Martin and Peter have a fan, Stephanie Hilland on Facebook, and then Sick Coffin is chiming in favor of Cloud. So we've got some supporters out there both ways. And the veteran Cloud takes a time out, looking to break a little of the momentum here. So anyway, what I was saying about players with a shot named after them, what Peter's imitating there is legendary Todd Rogers, Olympic gold medalist, kind of named or kind of trademarked the shot under line. Everybody calls it the Raji.
Raji.
Steinmetzger, you know, a lot of people have done it. Anginio from Brazil, a lot of people have done the pokey, but Stein really perfected it, you know, over the blocks of the likes of Phil Dahauser and Dick Gibb. And so
Stein, a pretty crafty guy. I think I saw him play. Last time I saw him play was a tournament in Chicago in EVP. But there were a bunch of veteran players there. It was a long time ago, and it was fun to watch. And he's coaching now, right?
He's coaching. I just saw he rides by my house every once a week and says, "Hey, he's coaching." And man, it would be you would be lucky to have him as your coach. You think he's is it UCLA?
Yeah, UCLA. He's still one of the best volleyball coaches I've ever seen.
He's coached me a couple times and given me some advice on passing, and it is priceless, really.
And he's coached Taryn as well. He's a huge fan of his. Butch May, Scott Davenport, some great coaches out there, John.
And you know the youth volleyball. There's an AAU tournament, and the NBL Rise has some great youth coming up, and there's an AAU tournament in most beaches. The most courts I've ever seen there, probably 50, 60 courts at the pier. And man, it is just a burgeoning sport. I believe
young Maya Hanneman will be there.
I believe it's the #2 sport in the world behind soccer. It's a pretty big statistic.
The advent of all these college programs for the women's beach has been huge, and that's just going to keep growing. And for those of you who don't know the situation there, colleges need to spend an equal amount of money or a proportionate amount of money on women's sports as they do on men's sports. And that money is always out there to be spent, but it's always been a problem to find enough women's sports to spend it on. And now the opening of the women's college has given them a chance to spend more on women and, of course, spend more on the men.
I'll tell you one thing, with Carrie Walsh going for her record 4th Olympic gold medal in Rio, that momentum for women's volleyball and the youth coming up through the junior high schools, and college is only going to increase. So, man, it's going to be it's kind of an interesting timeout by Caban and Doubravsky there. They had some momentum. Cloud tried to neutralize it with a timeout. Cloud and Vaughn sided out, and then Martin called a timeout. So I'm not sure what that's about.
Changing the pace at 19-17. I think they wanted to come in with a really good plan on how they're going to try and make one more point.
Yeah, maybe after that side out, guy goes back to serve and is all fired up, and you just neutralize that.
Yeah.
So you get one timeout per set, each team, and it's strategic on how to use it. Do not want to use it too early, because this point of the game is when you really want to prevent guys from.
I see they're going after Martin and Caban. I don't know if going after Martin is ever a great idea. He's a good passer. He's a pretty powerful hitter. They're playing their good ball right now. They're in-system ball, and they're tough to beat. These guys when they're
I met these guys at an EVP tournament. I played with Bill Kolinsky, who has also perfected this Steinmetzger knuckle. Here's a game point. Cloud able to get another. Gives a little wave. Said, "You can't get my cutty." And now they're 18-20. It's critical time here. Cloud needs to get a really good wrap on the serve.
And just a little bit of wind coming up, giving him the good side if he goes line to line on Doubravsky. See what he's got. Might go seam, try and get him hubby wide.
Martin gets a good pass, good set, and chips. And he's been going angle pretty much the whole game, and then just sizzles back line.
Nice play, like his little 75% shot, high percentage. Hey, for those of you who are watching, a lot of the pros you're going to see in this NVL event, especially in these later rounds, Fyodor Marciniak, his wife Kaya Marciniak, Skylar Del Sol, Jen Snyder, of course, CEO Albi Hanneman, all are going to be on the NVL volleyball vacations trip, November 6th through the 13th. Now, if you've never done this, it's really a blast. You basically go there to Club Med Turks and Caicos. It's an all-inclusive price. I think it's like $1,600 or something like that. If you go to volleyballvacations.com, you can get the details. But every day there are tournaments. Every afternoon there are clinics. And every night it's time, well, you play during the day with the pros, and at night you party with the pros. Costume parties, theme parties. It's really a lot of fun. Everybody enjoys it. If you've never done it, it's always a good time. You go one time, you'll probably be hooked. That's volleyballvacations.com. Oh, Taryn Lucasio will be there, of course. Formerly Taryn Keith. John, that'd be a great trip for you. You'd have a blast.
Well, your wife talks it up, and how did her match go here this morning?
They lost in 3 to the top young Texas girls who play. Every match of theirs has been in 3, and that's Lancone, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her partner's name right now, but they're really coming along, getting stronger and stronger every tournament.
So start of set 2 here. It's the best of 3, so Martin and Peter are looking to close this out in 2, of course, and TJ, Cloud, and his partner Vaughn are looking to extend this to a 3rd game.
I'm going to run and get an update on the other match. I'll be right back.
Okay. TJ getting a good serve, but Martin neutralizes it with that pass. Chips over line. TJ makes a good dig. And the hubby wife down the middle, Peter kind of takes over. And puts it away off the hands of Doubravsky. Good rally there. So we saw middle ball off the tape drop between Caban and Doubravsky in the first set, and that time they both went for it, which is really what you want. And then Peter, right at the end, called his partner off and said, "It's mine." Very definitive, very loud. So one thing for anybody out there looking to handle the middle ball that I always tell my partners, hey, we are crossing arms in the middle. Adam Roberts, I feel like, coined that phrase for me. And you essentially, one player goes in front of the other, and you're backing each other up.
John, I didn't realize you played with Adam Roberts at one time. Super nice guy.
Adam's one of my close friends. I just bought a condo in Redondo Beach, about a mile away from me.
Who was the big Russian guy he used to play with?
Andrei Belov. Not that big,
yeah.
but maybe. So there's another Russian, Kolodinsky, who had like maybe the fastest recorded jump serve ever, maybe 90 miles an hour.
Belov had a cannon.
And Belov had just this natural cannon that you did not want to be in the way of. It was like playing defense on serve receive.
I saw him six-pack one of the Baumgren brothers on one of his serves.
His serve was very effective. And then he would just go back to his room and drink tea all night. No vodka. I just kept asking him, why don't you drink vodka? We're Russian. So we got 2 serving 2. NBL, one of the NBL longtime sponsors, been Australian Gold Sunblock. I think it's one of the best smelling sunblocks I've ever had.
They've been a supporter of the NBL since the beginning. In addition, they're a huge supporter of youth volleyball. So anything they can do to help build the sport, Australian Gold has done. Truly amazing people.
Cloud with a perfect line shot over there, lands completely within the line, but all the way to the line. That's John Hayden, very John Hayden-esque. Defender looks at that and says, man, that's going to be hard to get.
Trickler. Wow, Doubravsky with his speed, that was the toughest trickler you're ever going to see.
Landing
He's
on
still
the 6-inch line.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
4-2, another good start for Cloud and Vaughn. You know, we haven't talked much about Chris Vaughn because he's basically up there just doing his job.
He's doing his job there. Just gets a block.
Tough
cover. Wow. And Peter just ignoring the fact that Vaughn is up there and blasting angle.
Scary looking swing right there. So over in the other court,
I better get my fingers taped.
Yeah, over in the other court, Hinchy and Vandenberg were down in the first game, but came back to take game number 1. And they're a dangerous team once they figured you out.
This is Andrew Hinchy's first tournament this year. Yeah. He's been talking with him a little bit over email, just checking in on him because we're all like family, and he's been just hanging out up in Canada, building his business and enjoying life.
He's got a big club business, right?
Man, he's just always one of the happiest guys. That was one of my first NBL experiences was with Dave McKenzie playing him in Vandenberg in the finals.
Was that in Ohio?
That was in Mason, Ohio, doing laps in the lazy river.
Oh, man.
Peter gets a block. It goes off Vaughn's head. You might have seen it land out of bounds, but it went off Vaughn's head. All the officials easily saw that.
Only 2 courts going today, so we've got 4 officials on each court. Just trying to make this as good as it possibly. That ball's tight.
A little pokey over. That's a frustrator. Frustrating for the defensive team. But just out of reach of both players. Vaughn and Cloud looking for a server check from the down official.
5-4. Chris Vaughn's going to go back and serve now.
Mikasa, another one of NBL sponsors. This ball, every ball is just slightly different. I like this one a lot. Cloud makes a great dig, but Vaughn in the net violation. You may not touch the net while you're in the act of playing the ball. So if you're not anywhere near the ball, you can touch the net, and you can always touch the net outside of the antennas. Or, pardon my grammar, antennae.
Antennae. I think antennas is okay.
Short serve to Vaughn. That's the set he wants. And he chops it down. Martin almost able to get that up.
Those touches are good, but you kids at home, you've got a shot that's working. Just because the other guy touched it, you got to keep playing it. Keep working that shot until somebody actually gets it back.
So we got a question from John Ruggieri on Facebook. When will Mike DePiero play today? Mike DePiero and Steve Grachowski lost a close one to the 2 seed in the tournament of Skylar Del Sol, who's pictured on center court, full laying out there with a dig on the banner, just behind the upref. Lost a tough one to those guys last night, and they will play at noon. They're looking to go from 5th to 3rd. And they're going to play the winner of Hinchy Vandenberg and Moran Cabbage. Peter with a crisp line shot. Doug and Cloud just delivers. Cloud is going to get the line again. Cloud was looking for something there. What was he looking for?
I don't know what he saw, maybe on the dig, but everything was fine. Looked fine to me. Oh, over the top of the net. But that ball was definitely on the plane.
That was in the plane.
Yeah.
Well, his partner
made the first touch anyway.
It touched it with fingers, and some people would question that because 3 or 4 years ago that wasn't good. But now, when the ball's anywhere near the plane and you're in the blocking motion, you can grab it with both hands and throw it down. They've loosened up that rule a lot. I did that yesterday and netted in the process. that was a bummer.
I see that you and Drew Mallon have some moments where you are amazing team, and I see that you're in that team growth phase. That's an ace. So where you're just learning how to play with each other and look like you're getting better and better every match.
So if you guys don't know where the score is on the screen, it's on the right tent. You'll see it's 7-6 now. Caban Doubravsky, the blue and red scoreboard underneath the right tent.
Game number 2, and Caban and Doubravsky won game 1. So John, do you plan to stick with Drew for the remainder of the season, or do you guys even think that far ahead?
I like consistency. I played the entire last year. We're get the switch at 8-6, so there's a 2-point advantage, and in beach volleyball now, all you got to do is side out now to 13 more points, which is not a lot easier said than done. But they've got their 2-point advantage now, so Cloud and Vaughn will be looking to close that gap. I love consistency. Playing with DePiro all last year was a pleasure, and it was fun. And we were just a couple points away from winning 2 tournaments, which was a little depressing not to happen. But I'm looking for that win this year. And Drew called me up after him and Vandenberg parted ways, and I was looking for a guy as well. We had a rough go in San Antonio, but good block by Doubravsky there. And then Vaughn covers and puts it away. Again, that's frustrating when you're blocking to have that covered and put away. So with our match against Zahn and Palm, the 1 seed yesterday, I felt like we that was our match to lose. We were up 20-18 in game 1, and then overtime game 2. So that gives me enough evidence that we can win one of these tournaments. So I'd like to stay with them if possible.
Yeah, I like the way you guys played. I thought that was like a breakthrough match for you guys.
That was absolutely. We were definitely in the growth phase, kind of still learning about each other. Made a few good pickups on Zahn's little pokey over the line there. I liked it.
Got 9 serving 7 right here.
Doubravsky back to serve. A lot of times these guys are firing jumpers, but now he's he's floating, moving TJ around. TJ going behind. TJ going behind his setter there. And then they might not be jump serving, but they are blasting when they get an opportunity. They're swinging away.
High and quick.
That's one thing Martin and Doubravsky and Caban are not afraid to do is swing away. Hinchey on the outer court, Hinchey going off Moran's dome for a point.
It's deceptively high jumper. It's deceptive.
I don't think I've ever played another team that both players were left-handed. Cloud hits Caban in the chest. That's one of my favorite hits. Deep angle, kind of at the defender's neck level.
Just saw Hinchey on the court send a wicked float for an ace.
See Jen Snyder out there warming up with her partner Shara Harris. They went straight through the winners, didn't drop a match. And they're sitting in 3rd, and looks like they're going to play.
And I'm sorry, John. I believe they lost in 3 to Priscilla and Kristen.
Oh.
They're
in
fighting for their lives in the Contender bracket.
Got it.
In 5th, playing for the semis.
Are they playing? Who are they playing?
They're going to play the Texas girls. Just won against Karen and Katie Hogan.
I see Kaya Marciniak out there also warming up. She's kind of one of the faces of the NBL. Just an absolute sweetheart.
Big story last night, folks. If you weren't watching it, Samade and Hildreth had a great match. against Marciniak and Raquel, and they ended up winning it in 3. And it's a bit of an upset, and it just shows how good that team's become. And I'm thinking that Hildreth and Samade are gonna continue their run here. They won in Wapaka, and they played against Jess Stavinsky and Carrie Shue, and they look really, really on fire right now. They've gotten stronger every time.
I've been coaching Carrie Shue a little bit, and she's just got a great attitude and playing really well. So beating them must have been big for those guys.
It's a very good team. Carrie Shue is just a wonderful person. Still, though she doesn't play on this tour anymore, like we're in her town, we always hear from her.
I'd like to take a little turn right now during the technical timeout at 9:12 and just have a quick moment of silence for all those who lost their lives and are injured in Nice, France. Our thoughts go out to them. Let's take a quick moment here. I don't watch the news that often, but I watched it yesterday morning, and that was just brutal. I've actually walked that street and played volleyball in Nice on those rock beaches, and it's just an amazingly beautiful area.
It's a tough thing to happen on the Steel Day. Area. But Steel Day basically is their 4th of July.
A quick comment on Facebook that this higher camera angle, it's harder to see how high the guys are jumping and some of the athleticism, but also gives you a broader perspective on what's really happening, maybe on the blocks, covers, and on a transition dig. But we'll keep you posted on who's jumping 30 inches and who's jumping 40. The sand is hard pack, as most travel tournaments are. Where I play in so TJ Cloud going off the high hands, 10 serving 12 now. Where I play and train in Hermosa Beach and Manhattan Beach. Hermosa is going to be the spot of the next NBL. It is some of the deepest sand in the world. Very difficult to jump 40 inches out of, but it just changes the game a little bit. Martin and Peter passing and setting well, but TJ makes a great read on that. And the Cuddy Pokey. Bringing it back to 11-12. These guys are keeping the game very tight. Peter Doubravsky shoots line, gets dug, and just goes right back to angled swinging. Not afraid to swing. I feel like Chris Vaughn wants that one back. Tough pass. TJ, wow. Wow, what a great set by Cloud. I meant to, when I see a player who's looking to improve, I usually coach him on how to approach that net from the side and just be patient and go low, and Cloud just absolute calm under pressure there, setting a perfect set out of the net. Peter Doubravsky just being dynamic there, swinging angle, going line, chopping line, very dynamic.
A little correction from Todd Strasburger before. The NHL sport is not smash ball, it's called fist ball.
Well, I've played smash ball too. That's growing in Southern California, and it's pretty fun. Short serve. They like serving TJ short, and they get the desired effect, an out hit and a 15-12 advantage. When you get served short, changes a lot of things, but a lot of times what you're looking for as a server there is to take away the hitter's approach and their vision and the traditional routine that they go through on a side out. TJ gets his approach, gets the cut he wants, and I am very familiar with that. When you get a good cut shot, even if the defender's there, it's still hard to dig and put away because it's such a difficult angle. So he gets the over dig, and then with the left hand puts it away deep. So 13-15 switch. You know, this match could be nearing its end. Cloud and Vaughn are looking to change this momentum quickly. Cloud rips a serve right in Martin's lap. And Martin chops under the block. Angle. 16-13. Now Martin's back to rip a jumper. Looks like he's kind of a soft, medium pace. And Vaughn goes under the block. Peter, you can see he wishes he had that one back as well. Anytime Peter was blocking line on that time. Anytime the hitter goes underneath where you were supposed to be blocking, you recognize quickly that that was your mistake. So Vaughn, the back flipper after a great dig is by TJ. Vaughn goes over and then pulled, very early pull, and on this hard sand, that's gonna be a tough one to defend. That hard hit. Might be worth the timeout now.
It's just a great dig right there.
Peter made a great up, and it just hung in the middle of the net there. And Martin was able to get him just a perfect set.
And you called it right, John. Time for a timeout. Nothing else to reset. See if they can get something else going. We're going to get you an update from the other court.
The reason you have to have a timeout there is you're down 4, 18-14, and if you don't gather and get this point, you're down 5, and it's pretty much the nail in the coffin. You have to get this point.
Try and fight your way back to no worse than 16-19.
We were down 18-15 against Zahn and Palm yesterday, and got a block. I back set one over, and Drew Mallon, my partner, got a trickler, and all of a sudden it's tie ball game. It's really nice to come back from that.
I got an update from the other court. Hinchy and Vandenberg were winning 14-8 in the second game. John Moran's been fighting a back injury the entire weekend. Did it earlier on, and he has withdrawn. So Hinchy and Vandenberg continue for those of you keeping your own brackets.
And they will be playing DePiro Gutowski, I believe at the same time as we're playing. And
yes,
like
correct.
Around 12:30, 12:45.
That's right. One team will be on the live webcast, and the other team will be on the Facebook Live court. So you'll be able to see both of those matches.
For those of you superstitious out there, make a wish. It's 11:11 in Columbus, Ohio. All right, Caban, Doubravsky coming out of this timeout. Now, one thing I and most veterans try to do coming out of the timeout where the other team's trying to ice you is you want to get the serve inbounds. Whatever it takes, get it in. I would expect to see Doubravsky would take just a little off and put it in, which it looks like what he's going to do. Put a lot of pressure on them to side this ball out. And he gets the block. It's really hard to play when you're down so far. Hard to play with a lot of with the same mentality as you are when you're up. It's easy when you're up 5 points. Easy to make some moves on the block and take some chances, but when you're down, it's a lot of pressure. Cloud handling it well there, siding out. So we got 15-19, down 4 points serving. They really need something special here. If I was the coach of their team, I would suggest just absolutely green light on the serve. Looks like TJ's doing it. And he takes a rip, but Martin gets a good pass and a good set. Wow. Great hit by Vaughn. Better dig by Peter. And put away. Wow. That's just good volleyball right there. Vaughn detonated that ball and Peter dug it well. The peel and dig, perfected currently by Bill Kalinsky from Big Bend, Wisconsin. Played the Wapaka this year.
You don't think that was perfected by St. John Smith?
Probably, maybe a little. Wait, was St. John ever blocking? There, I meant the peel and dig.
Oh, the peel and dig.
More specifically.
You're right.
There's a lot of defenders with great overhand dig. Mike DePiro,
Oh my God.
NBL pro Mike DePiro. That's one guy you don't want to hit it at his face. Kind of got used to that last year. We're at match point now. Chris Vaughn back serving. Looks like his partner TJ Cloud going up to block. Give the guys a little different look. Maybe convince him to hit straight down and get a block. Goes with a deep serve and a switch. Cloud and Vaughn gets a block. Now, interesting here, they're within 3. Either this point or if they get another one, either one would be a good time to take a timeout for Doubravsky Caban. Guarantee if they don't get this point, they'll take a timeout.
Shouting back to Kurt Karasik, I'm probably saying that wrong, and Dan Seifa.
And Caban puts it away with a hard cross court. Those guys prevail 21-17 in the second set. Take down the match, and they will be playing the little team of Mesco Malin at approximately 12:30 after the next match here.
And before we sign off, saying goodbye to Deb Hinchy. And folks, we're going to be right back in just a few moments with another Facebook Live post for the women's match. It's going to be on center court.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.